Let's talk quarterback rankings for week 3 of the NFL action for fantasy football. I do these in tiers, so we'll pull a couple players up at a time. We'll talk about them. If players are in the same tier, that does generally mean like I'd be okay moving them around 1 to 2 spots. So let's take a look at it. First group of players: Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. The first two should be pretty explainable. Josh Allen playing the Dolphins. It's a really good matchup. The Dolphins haven't been able to stop anyone, and it's Josh Allen. The next one, Lamar Jackson, the Lions. This is one of the highest over-unders for the week. The Ravens had one of the best offenses in the league last year. The Lions had one of the best offenses in the league last year. So I'm expecting quite a bit of points scoring here. Third one, Jalen Hurts playing the Rams. Now, this is a tougher matchup, and the Eagles have shown that they don't need to throw. They can just kind of run and win 20-17. But I'm expecting Sean McVay and Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams and Kyron Williams to be able to score a little bit more than the teams that the Eagles have played so far, like the Chiefs and the Cowboys. So I think they can keep things moving and force Jalen to throw, force him to run, and force his team to keep up and keep moving, like we saw with the Cowboys in Week 1. So I'm feeling really good about Jalen Hurts. Speaking of the Cowboys, let's move to our next tier where I have Dak Prescott, Baker Mayfield, Justin Herbert. 3 pocket passers, a little bit of scrambling from Baker, actually from all of these guys, a little bit of scrambling, not really rushing quarterbacks. But I've got Dak Prescott playing the Bears. The Bears are without Jalen Johnson, one of the better corners in the league. So if the Lions just put up 50, I don't know that the Cowboys are going to put up 50 on the Bears. I don't know that anyone's going to put up 50 on a lot of teams throughout the year. But without Jalen Johnson, like this is the secondary is not at full strength. It's still a decent defense, but Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, I think they'll be able to move the ball consistently on this team. Baker Mayfield playing the Jets. Until I see someone stop Baker, he's going to be in my starting lineup. The Jets defense hasn't shown me that they can really stop a competent quarterback. Like Aaron Rodgers threw for 4 touchdowns against them. I think Baker Mayfield can do a little bit more than Aaron Rodgers, so I've got him at QB5. Last one in this tier, Justin Herbert. The matchup here is bringing him down a couple spots. Dak playing the Bears is a much easier matchup than Justin Herbert against the Broncos, who we just saw Daniel Jones put up points against them. So I don't worry a ton about Justin Herbert, but it's still a good defense. Maybe it's just a bad week. I'm not totally sure. And until I see Najee Harris or Marion Hampton really move this back to a run-first ball control team, I'm just going to trust Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey, and even Quentin Johnston, who's looked all right. So Justin Herbert will be in my lineup. The next player is just one guy in a tier on his own. It's Jaden Daniels. If he's starting him, I would have him ranked as QB7. I like the Raiders matchup. Even if I knew he wasn't able to run as much, if he could stand in and be a pocket passer, I think he could put up good numbers this week. The following group of players, I've got Caleb Williams playing the Cowboys, Drake May against the Steelers, and Patrick Mahomes playing the Giants. Now, Caleb Williams hasn't looked amazing for real-life NFL. He's had some bad interceptions and some questionable plays, but for fantasy, the scrambling is there. The big throws are there. Like, that's what I'm looking for. And the Cowboys defense, well, it's okay. I don't expect them to completely shut down the Bears, so I'm looking for a good day from Caleb Williams. Drake May playing the Steelers. The Steelers typically have a good defense, but the Jets were able to roll them. The Seahawks were able to put up points. So I think the Patriots can keep that going, and we'll get an idea of, hey, maybe the Steelers aren't a great steel curtain defense this year. And then the rushing floor of Drake May just is what kind of solidifies this decision for me. 10 carries last week, 31 yards and a touchdown. It's just the cheat code. And if he can get that going, week 3 with Josh McDaniels, week 3 of the second season, I like Drake May this week. And then Patrick Mahomes down low, way lower than I might ever want to have him. But it is rough without Xavier Worthy, without Rashee Rice. Really just looking at Tyquan Thornton, Hollywood Brown, and Travis Kelce, and Patrick Mahomes rushing. Patrick Mahomes led the team in rushing last week, and he said I feel like I need to run to get this thing going. Like I'll run. Basically the quote was like, I'll run in the playoffs because I feel like we need it, and we need it right now. So I'm looking for him to have a little bit more scrambling than he typically does in the early going of the season until he gets his receivers back. So Patrick Mahomes against the Giants, even without his top receiving options, I like him here at quarterback 10. This next group of players is rushing quarterbacks that aren't amazing pocket passers and definitely have some question marks. I've got Kyler Murray against the 49ers, a tough matchup. Daniel Jones playing the Titans, a decent matchup. And Justin Fields playing the Bucs, another tough matchup. These are not pushover defenses. Kyler Murray, for a lot of these guys, it's the rushing floor that makes the difference. Like Kyler Murray, it's just the rushing floor. Daniel Jones, I kind of have to keep going back to him until I see him turn back into a pumpkin. You know, the Titans are not the Broncos, and I just saw Daniel Jones beat up on the Broncos. Maybe this is the best offensive unit I've seen Daniel Jones work with. Like, he's played with Saquon. I know he's played with good players. He played a couple games with Malik Neighbors, but in general, the offensive line, Tyler Warren, Pittman, Downs, Alec Pierce, those are better receiving options than any group of receivers he's played with. And I think Shane Steichen might just be a better coach than Brian Daboll. So I'm going to keep rolling with Daniel Jones. And if Justin Fields plays, he has knocked out of the game last week with a concussion. If he plays, I'm ready to go back to him. It's just the rushing floor. I don't know that the Buccaneers defense is what the Bills defense was. So I would be going with Justin Fields at QB 13. This next group, Jared Goff, Jordan Love, Bo Nix, CJ Stroud. This is kind of the last of the starters in a one quarterback league. Jared Goff playing the Ravens. The Vegas over-under for this game is 51.5. They were one of the best offenses in the league last year. I might end up moving Jared Goff up a little bit, but right now I've got him at 14. QB 15, Jordan Love. It's the Browns. Like, eventually, I think they'll be able to score points because I don't know that the Browns will be able to, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was a defensive matchup early on. Myles Garrett in this pass rush can stop a lot of people. The Browns held the Ravens to 10 points in the first half. Like, that was a close game. I just don't know that they can keep doing it with Joe Flacco in the offense. I'm not expecting them to be able to do much against the Packers. So eventually the dam will break and the Packers will get things going. I've got Bo Nix against the Chargers at quarterback 16. Bo Nix has struggled a little bit in the early going of the season, and this Chargers defense has looked all right. So I'm not excited to go to Bo Nix, and there's just a lot of matchups that I like ahead of him. But so I think he'll be okay. You can definitely still start him. It's just not a premier matchup, and I kind of want to see Bo Nix get back into a rhythm before I really feel excited about him. The next group of players I've got, it's CJ Stroud, Michael Penix, Mac Jones playing the Cardinals, and Trevor Lawrence playing the Texans. This is just kind of the leftover pocket passer blob. CJ Stroud kind of needs a second wide receiver to step up. There's no Christian Kirk. Jaden Higgins hasn't really been there. It's just been Nico Collins, and he's had a hard time getting the ball to Nico Collins. Targeted him 9 times on Monday Night Football for really only 3 catches. Teams have been able to shut that down. The Texans cannot run. Nick Chubb does not look great. Woody Marks maybe starts to develop into something more, but right now, this team is kind of one-dimensional with CJ Stroud just trying to get the ball to Nico Collins, and everything else is not kind of working yet. Michael Penix has a great matchup playing the Panthers. I just want to see him succeed more before I'm excited to start him. Same thing kind of idea with Mac Jones. It's a good matchup playing the Cardinals. I don't fear them per se, but backup quarterback, like, there's just so many better options. And then Trevor Lawrence playing the Texans. I don't like the Texans matchup. I don't like BTJ being hurt and it not quite working out. This team is not really gelling yet. I'll just go with a lot of other guys before I go to Trevor Lawrence. So that's my top 20. If there's another player that you want to hear a little bit more about, let me know in the comments. If you think I should move some guys, let me know in the comments. I will also have rankings for wide receivers, running backs, tight ends. I don't know why I'm holding up my hands like they would be here, but they'll be on the channel. So make sure you're subscribed.